Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. I am your host, Kelly Meehan, a citizen of the universe and a passage keeper and mentor for our new Earth children. I believe we are entering into a new psychic structure of our reality, and it is meant to embody deeper trust and ways into solid self-love and fearless integrity. Our new world energy of spirit babies needs us to consciously create within conception, trust pregnancy, and have freedom to birth and parent from innate wisdom. This is Spirit Baby Radio. Welcome to episode 221, August 2025, Fear. It is everywhere and the great troubles of our times. How to be in your high frequency even amongst fear. Are you fearful of fear? Does it take you into dark places? Why does fear do these things? How can you overcome this low frequency? I feel like it's unbelievable. We are here in August 2025, and it is a heart month for me as my brother's birthday is arriving in the next few days, and I'm in a good space. As many of you know, I've been into the throes of becoming orphaned last year and having lost my brother as well, adding that to a lot of lineage reconstructing into my reality, and how I show up is very different. It is quite profound, actually, and it's not something I could have ever imagined. And my beingness, my brain waves, my energetic frequency has changed. And I like to believe that I'm an alchemist, that I can transform and change things. And I don't have time to be in fear. I don't have time for low frequency. And I can say that with much courage and bravery because that wasn't always the truth. I think that in many years, many moons ago, fear can be persuasive and powerful, and yet I'm not fearless. I do have fears that do come through into my own consciousness, into my own reality. And I'm very aware of the physiological responses I have to fear because my body tells me the story that I want to listen to. And maybe for you, it's something different. Maybe it feels like your emotions, like maybe you go into depression, or maybe you go into more deeper anxieties. And so those are just fear energies that are in communication with you. And I feel like as we are getting stronger, right, collectively and individually, that you are a sovereign soul that has freedom, even though it may not feel like we have freedom, right? We can be so held in this world under certain reign and rules of living in certain states and countries and counties. There's rules to follow, and yet who makes these rules? And what if you disagree with these rules? What if your body says, wow, this feels not like a rule I want to be a part of? And maybe you can call that a good fear, right? The good fear is I am not going to just give my whole heart and self-trusting self away to just whatever rules or, order wants to come. And that we are in a great time of powerful shifting, and fear is going to be the new pandemic. It's not so much the virus, right? Or the perceived virus. There's so many different, right, theories and ideas around that. But the psychological warfare, of course, it's brilliant, really. And fear can be so powerful and persuasive, right? And you think about even through religion, there's the devil and then there's the angel. And there's all these depictions, there time in history, and yet we are here presently feeling and experiencing our world on so many different levels, not just physically, kinesthetically, emotionally, in relationships with everything, with the life that we're leading, with the work that we're doing, with the relationships with people, relationships with even the person at the supermarket driving down the road, with more intimate family members, with deeper soul friendships. There's so many relationships happening all at the same time. And we're having to show up to our most best heart authority in that. And oftentimes we do forget. We all forget that we are hearts and that we are that light being truly inside. And that we have to receive ourselves first, and the energy of the world and the universe can come to us without doing as much as we think, right? And then there's the energy of like, wait a minute, but Kelly, I have to keep doing, being, but we have to shift our perceptions on what we want to receive and what we want to be in true alignment with. And how do we continue to show up in our own heart space? We have to do self-care, like loving self-care. What does your self-care look like? And we have to implement that in a very deep way with boundaries included, with slowing down, with, moving in a certain way. And that can definitely take time. Sometimes it's a snap of a finger, and other times it can just take time. And that could be really boring, or it could be very frustrating or disappointing, but there is a time and space of energy that is present. And it can be hard to know how to go in and restructure that and figure it out and shift the frequency. And it is not a logical thing. The logic is in the way. But when we're opening and being and like a lock-in key to energy, we understand it, we see it, we receive it. So the fear comes in, and maybe you're in conception journey. Oh my gosh, yeah. Conception will bring in tons of fear, especially if you are in a space where you're trying and trying and trying and trying and nothing's happening. And it's so hard not to take it personal. Why not? And what would happen if you gave in to those fears in a deeper way? What if that fear wanted you to dance its energy through your body to the earth? What if that fear wanted you to write poetry and get the words out and just dissipate them into the universe? What if that fear wanted you to go for a jog into nature on the rough terrains, feeling the wind, the sun, and the unpredictability of the trail? What if that fear needed you to talk it out and just let it free, let it scream out, and just darkness and pouring out whatever it is? It could be really harsh and gnarly. It's like, okay, what if that fear wanted quietness? I'm going to sit in the quiet and relax, my whole being melting into the floor, melting into the massage table, melting into the hands of the healer. What if that fear wanted you fill in the blank? So fear is going to be here for now, and you're going to have fear in conception and with fertility issues. And it's what you do with the fear that is everything, right? Because yes, you can definitely move into making choices out of fear. Something I say quite often, absolutely. We make decisions as humans out of fear all the time. And sometimes there's a consequence in that, right? It's like, oh man, I messed that up, but you're scared, and there's old trauma wounds that check out. People check out. You can't control a nervous system response of check out and freeze because it's biological. It just happens. And you can definitely reintegrate and regulate yourself. So, oh, wait, here's that fear again. And for example, like let's say there was abuse. You grew up with abuse as a child and you didn't have a voice. Yes, that is restructuring your whole reality of who you're becoming and who you are in this time, and the forgiveness and the love that is needed to then bring in a newer energetic crystalline light structure around your own consciousness, around your whole entire field of being. And that requires opening with it and an acknowledgement of it and so much more, right? Because that example is a very unique journey, and it can create issues for sure with fertility. It can create issues in pregnancy and birthing because the triggers and the energy of fear is there. And that's just one of many different examples. But let's say you have a fear of, I had a fear of pregnancy for a very good reason based on my history. The fear of birth was really big. And I'm like, that's interesting. I had pelvic floor damage as a child. Why would it not be an issue? Of course, it's an issue. And I thought it would be an issue in my birth, my firstborn, which was very traumatic. And I kind of almost knew it was going to be this way, but I didn't know how to fix it. And I was really scared. I was like, really, there's so much fear. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to split in half and disintegrate into the universe. Like, I'm trying to paint you a really clear picture of this fear. And I've had many dark times, like many of us have. And yet I'm in a space now, as present time, I don't work. I don't want to go into the past. I don't want to go too far into the future. I want to be right here because my authentic soul authority says you need to be here. The happiness is here. The anxiety and depression are not here. And if they're here, they're interlinking timelines of other realities of consciousness that are connected to your family, to be honest. Whether it's your biological family or interdimensional things are being pulled at you. And again, do you have to have it all solved and figured out? No. But the power in it is that you have to just know that you're here in your own love body and essence, and that you believe in yourself of your own importance, and that you're listening how to care for that. How is your whole body of being? Is it a clear, reflective mirror to you? Are you keeping it as healthy and unpolluted as possible? And I say that because we are bombarded by EMFs, by toxic waters, by food, especially if you live in America. I mean, it's kind of like the joke of the world, really. Oh, America, they know so much, but the polluted foods, water, soils, clouds issues, and polluting in the sky. It's like, okay, but all these things going against other dark forces, we can say, right? Other fear energies. It's like fear. People are hypnotized by their fear. They are standing in line in obedience with fear. We saw it through the pandemic. Don't come next to me. You're contagion. You're contagion. Wow, really? That always baffled me. When all that stuff was happening, I felt like I was in an alternate reality of the times we're slowing down, watching people, the psychological fear. Stay away from me. You're contagion. What was the other one? I felt like, oh, get in line, get your health injection. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for everybody else, right? Fear. Oh, fear is so persuasive. Fear is, fear can be your best friend. It's very manipulating. It doesn't always have to be scary or I'm feeling overwhelmed. We have to know as we're taking in our own energetic space of fear what you're going to do with it. And the world is set up with ways to taunt us and tease us into submission with certain dark parts. And we can either give all our energy here, bind my arms and legs, let me give to fear. Why? Because it's uncomfortable to speak up, but it's uncomfortable then to become hypnotized and zombified and to stand in your line, get in order. And fear is like that. And I talk about conception, talking about real life things in this reality. I'm not even talking about war. That pops in my mind. The collective areas in the world of cultures just steeped in the historical lineage and probably even ley lines of the earth of just holding so much power and then kind of watching the heartache and grief and death of that. And those are more bigger things, but we have to embody that and see that this reality of this earth is like that. And kind of coming back to your fertility fears is like understandable. And the fear of I have to have intervention, I have to have intervention, I have to have intervention. Is it really true? And sometimes there's soul searching in that journey. You have to sit with that and see what comes and unfolds. Pregnancy, oh, I want to birth in a unassisted at home, a free birth, or I want to birth in a birth center, I want a home birth, I want a hospital birth. Where your fear goes is where you're going to birth. And there's forgiveness and there's no shame in that. It's just a recognition, oh, there's a lot of energy here. And what is the alignment of my body and baby being, not what the world tells me, what feels in instinctual harmony with nature and life. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying this on all my podcasts, every interview. Intervention, baby beings don't want intervention. They don't need to be intervened with. Very, 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 very rare instances. You see how many very, very's I did in there? You don't have to be a medical doctor or a medical expert to know that. You are the medical doctor. You are the expert. How about that? You are the expert of you and your body. And we have to hold the energy of that highest space because fear dissolves when it's in that light. It doesn't belong there. And let me even go into birth loss for a moment. Miscarriage, stillbirth, infancy loss, later loss. Ah, yes, there is tons of fear in that space because it's death. And culturally, worldly, we have programmed ourselves to think that death is final and there's nothing there and we're just separate. When the frequency of everybody that leaves this space just dies in form, in matter, and tissues, and the energy of them lives and survives. But there's such deeper lessons in that and how you open and hear within worlds of worlds, right? And many, I feel like in 2025 and on, are just naturally opening, and it's going to come more and more as nature has intended. And we are rising into that highest level of crystalline frequency to expand. So the fear becomes, the fear, let's do this for a minute. The fear becomes in the background, not giving it all the energy it needs. Why does it need so much from us, or does it? And wherever you are in your journey, it could be conception, pregnancy, healing through loss, or maybe you're just in parenthood, you're in motherhood, and you're feeling those moments of fear kind of stepping into the space, and you can feed them for moments, whether it's relationship, career, financial. Yeah, there are scary things all the time shifting, but here's the beautiful, fucking powerful thing. They are shifting all the time. Are you holding something that does not want to shift? Oh my gosh, there's no money. There's no, they're shutting the power off. This could be really scary. It's survival. There's no food on the table. These are very extreme, right? It's like, what am I to do? Creative, innovative thinking. Yes, the fear is powerful, but you're having to push yourself out and create. The universe is literally created. It's creative force. It's everywhere. It's all around you. It's like, it's in our bones. It's in our breath. It's in like our eyes. It's all parts of our energy. And everything that we experience is literally just moments. And I'm not going to pretend not to get caught up in fear. Yeah, when I twisted my ankle in that moment, I think I blacked out a lot of parts. I went into fight or flight because afterwards I had bruising and very weird things on my legs. I don't even remember falling that way, but when my ankle made a pop noise and I fell on the grass, as my brother witnessed it, I instantly was like, fuck. Like, I instantly knew, I'm like, this is bad. This is bad. My body went into survival and I got the tinglies. I was ready to pass out and throw up. And I'm laying on the grass and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna ride it out. And my ankle just instantly blew up. And I'm like, okay. And I was in a dark space for a few days, but I can tell I'm able to translate both sides of myself to go, okay, I see two parts of me. And I'm like, okay. And I felt it around my heart space. And I worked with it, my somatic therapist, and I've done healing work and light therapy, red light therapy, ice, magnet. I've done, a lot of stuff. And then yet it was my emotions that were the most important in the healing of my foot. Is the most important. And this is, I even feel this very strongly for women in conception, pregnancy, healing through loss. The fear can be so powerful and it's completely covers your eyes and blinds you. But the emotional and the energetic spaces of how we heal, our bodies just go, you know what? Wow, like I'm emotionally healing. And guess what? My body's like, oh, I'm just going to self-correct right now. And I'm like dead serious when I say this. In day two, my trauma was still very apparent. I could feel it around me, but I didn't know. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Am I supposed to do something? Working with my somatic person, I suddenly felt my body change and I felt heat moving through me. And I was like, what is this? And she informed me that my body was releasing the trauma. I didn't ask it to. I was just sitting in the quiet with just quiet words of guidance. And I listened and I went back later on and I noticed days later, I went back for more support. I was like, I really need support right now. I know when I need support. And my inflammation literally decreased. Not the lysine, the lemon balm, which were helpful. All the anti-inflammatories you can do, they're all just external physical support, right? Nervous system balances, ashwagandha. and the topicals and everything. And I realized, wow, the intelligent body, my nervous system got more regulated. And guess what? When your nervous system's more regulated, guess what? You don't need inflammation. It just kind of decreases. And there's a fear in that too, of like the fear of like having to fill our bodies with so many supplements. And believe me, I love a good supplement, but I only take them selectively now instead of obsessively. And when times of vulnerability or personal shifts of my own cycle, I'm still cycling, so I'm very conscientious of those vulnerable times and shifting times. And yet I go, oh, and fear no longer has to, again, as I gave you that image for binding the hands and feet together, you are not what's the word? You are not a slave to your fear. You can be. Don't get in line. Don't follow the order. It's all about freedom, right? The freedom to follow your own heart, that you are light. And the next time fear comes in, let it come in. And then you go, you know what? You're not consuming me, fear. I'm not going to do it, even though it can be persuasive and charming. And laugh. I was taught to laugh a lot. You got to laugh at things, even when you don't want to, even in grief, even in darkness, even in anger. Because emotions are fleeting, but we get so attached to emotions. Believe me, I'm like number one picture child on that list. But then I learned it's like, okay, like what is holding me and what freedom do I actually allow myself to be in? And nature, by the way, is your guide. Nature, the universe, the light, your own inner source is everything to how you navigate into this life with fear or fearlessness. So don't let the fear win your heart. Be in it for a moment, but don't play in the negative force. If you play in it too much, it becomes your frequency. You will become a low frequency, and that's your own choice. Others you may see and witness in those spaces. You are an elevating, healing force of light. Keep elevating wherever you are. Let the fear come and go. Don't get caught up in every fear moment, especially from the social media, especially from the higher collective thoughts of illusionary fears. Sit in your own silence. You are a beacon of information. You are a satellite of energy. You don't even need to know. I know everybody says, don't look at the media, don't read the newspaper, don't watch TV. I don't even think people are doing that anymore. I'm like, who's actually doing that? And if you are doing that, you're definitely not listening to this podcast because you would not even want to be attracted to this frequency because and I'm not talking about, okay, once in a while you're putting on CNN or some weird natural disaster comes in, that's fine. But if you're like every day with your popcorn, biting your nails, I gotta watch this, I gotta know what's happening, then you need some help. You need some psychological detachment from that frequency because it has persuaded you. And the energetic world of fear persuasion, it's there. I've witnessed it, I've seen it around people and others, and you are going to detach from fear. You are on this conception journey. Hello, my baby beings. I am here. I am ready. You are receiving your new earth child or children because your heart is ready to burst into that expansion. And so leave the fear out the door. Come into your own love bubble of purity and beauty and grace. And know that you are that light. You are in communication with your children of the present, the past, and the future. And I want to leave you with owning that light, connecting with that light, and just being that light. And if you want to become better at Spirit Baby communication, I want to offer you Notes from a Spirit Baby Medium, everything you need to know about Spirit Baby communication. It is my book. And it is a book, it is a manual. You want to be a spirit baby communication expert. This is the book. It has so many chapters from conception, infertility, pregnancy, birth loss, miscarriage, stillbirth, children of the new earth, spiritual parenting with newborn telepathic care. It is your manual. It comes with 7 QR codes and web links to meditations with binaural beats, lullabies made for you in a specific tone and frequency, connecting with the New Earth children. It is available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. It is also available on Ingram Sparks, which is global distribution. And look for me for future book signings all around the United States. You can see that at newearthchildren.com. Thank you so much for joining episode 221, Fear, It is Everywhere, and the Great Troubles of Our Times, How to Be in Your High Frequency Even Amongst Fear. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining Spirit Baby Radio with your host, me, Kelly Meehan. Please join my community and stay in touch with monthly energy rants, Spirit Baby poetry, and get access to Spirit Baby 101 with tips and practices at my newsletter at newearthchildren.com. And join me on Instagram with lives at Spirit Baby Medium, and join the Mighty Networks, the Spirit Baby Collective membership, and Motherhood to Mediumship. Remember, you are the heart that holds communication, and it is your time to connect. Come share in the great shift of your mind and the true spirit of your heart with Spirit Baby Communication.